Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Tracy and I'm doing another video for ScrappyShak. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this really golden, glittery, shiny, perfect Mother's Day card. Stick around and we'll get started. Okay, here we go. So what you're going to need for this card is you're going to need this Eileen Hull 666043 tiled alphanumeric. You're going to need this 3D textured impressions folder from Eileen Hull. It is 665916 and it's called Woven Leather. You're going to need some metallic paper. One piece for the background and a piece for your circle and some for your letters. And then some scrap card, and this isn't scrap card, you'll need a card base. And then any pattern paper of your choice. You're going to need 2 circles, one a little bit larger than the other, and the main thing is you want them less than 4 inches. And anything from your stash, I like the I love you, so this is a Mother's Day card. Then some ink and various things to glue and pop up, and some sequins. So what I'm going to do to get started here is I'm going to start cutting out my letters. Now I don't need the whole alphabet. You can cut the whole alphabet if you want, but I need Mom, and I'm going to need it twice because I need 2 M's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim my scrap down, because I don't want to waste my whole piece of paper. I'm going to trim my scrap down so it fits across the 3. Then I'm going to trim another piece so it just covers the M. So I've got my Mom. And then I'm going to cut 2 more out of some, I'm going to use some of my Accent Opaque 110. So I'm going to cut 4 more M's and then 2 more of the rest. I'll get those cut out, and then I'm going to emboss one of these with the embossing folder, and once I get all that done, I'll be right back. Okay, I've got all my parts cut out, and here this is embossed. Now, since this is a 3D folder, you run it through 3 times. Okay, and the first thing I'm gonna do, you don't want to lose that little middle out of your O, is I'm gonna trim this piece down to 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to try and get it as straight as I possibly can. Just kind of following along this line. And if you're using a trimmer like this, use these lines to trust that it's straight. Because see, it's not straight there. So I'm going to go a little bit over 5 1/4. Then I'm going to flip it over and get the 5 1/4 on the other side. All right, so we've got all our parts. We're going to start assembling the card. And I'm going to start out by go ahead and stick this down to my card base that I lost somewhere. Let me grab another one. And I'm using an A2 top folding card base. And I just want to get it centered down on here. And I'm going to glue it straight down. See what I did with my glue here. Here it is. This is art glitter glue that I got from ScrappyShak that I actually store in this little smaller container. I had been fighting with my regular container, so I thought I'd try something different. So you want to be fairly generous with the glue because you have a 3-dimensional surface here. You want as much surface to stick down as you can. And just kind of move that around till it's straightish on there. Maybe yours will be straighter than mine, but I'm not mad. I'm just going to give a little pressure. The art glitter glue dries pretty fast. And then I'm going to glue down the first circle, and I want it a little bit above the middle. but I want it centered from side to side here. Okay. And I don't need glue coming all the way out to the edge. And then I'm going to take my piece of pattern paper and I want to make sure that my flowers are sort of straight. And I'm going to glue that down to this and just make sure that it's centered within. Okay. And we can set that aside and go to work on our letters. So remember I said don't lose that little piece right there. I'm going to go ahead and pop that out of there and put it where I can find it. Okay, and then to get these letters apart, you're going to just fold, and then fold back, and then tear. Okay, so fold, fold back, tear, fold, fold back, tear. Super easy. We don't need the inside letters. You can save them for another project if you want to. If it acts like it doesn't want to tear, give it a little couple more bends back and forth. Okay. We need our O. We don't need our N. I'll save that for something else. And then we need our second M. And I'm doing this video live, not live in front of a live audience, but live without a voiceover. Because, I don't know, it's quiet right now. There's no dogs barking. There's no people here with their blaring YouTubes. It's just me. So I'll go ahead and poke all these out because I'm going to get 2 layers of the white and 1 layer of the gold. And then I'll be back. Okay, I've got those all taken apart. So first I'm going to glue the 2 bottom layers together. And I just want a little height on these. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's simple though. It's not like trying to glue together delicate things. You just make sure that the edges of your square match and you're golden. Now, in order to do this one, I notice with this paper, and I don't know if your paper will do it or not, but it's thin enough that it shows the glue through. So what I'm going to do here is make myself messy a little bit. I'm going to put my glue down, but then I'm going to take my finger and spread it out. So that I don't have any like artifacts underneath. I like to call them glue worms, but whatever, you call them what you like. And just make sure they're fitting together. And give it a press. Okay, I'll do the rest of those off camera. Okay, so we've got our letters all glued together. Now again, I don't want to lose these guys. I'm just going to scoot them up a little bit. And I'm going to find my placement on here, and I'm going to start with my O. And then my M's will go in beside it on either side. So I'm just kind of moving it around till it looks about even for me. And then I'll take my O, and I noticed that my M moved. That's okay. Because I'm using wet glue, I have some wiggle room here. Now you can go straight across, you can go up and down, whatever floats your boat. You can go like that, you can go like that. I'm going straight across for today. That's the beauty of these letters, is they're not super difficult and they're cool looking. They look like postage stamps. I'm just going to glue my M down, glue my other M down. And since the main color scheme of my flowers is pink, I'm going to stamp my cinnamon in pink. But first I want to put down this little middle O. So I'm just going to grab my tweezers, and you could totally leave it off if you wanted to. Grab a little bit of glue and just tap off my glue a little. I'll just tap it off on my hand here so it doesn't come squishing out. And then just move this around in there so it's fairly straight. Only the first one's difficult to get down and even. The rest follow because you just put them one on top of the other. And you've got yourself a beautiful Mother's Day card that would rival any Hallmark card. Get any ooze out, just kind of drag it off. And then on the last one, I like to put my glue directly here and then tap some off so I don't get any ooze on my beautiful gold paper. Lay down my, and you don't want to press too hard when you're pressing on this because you'll make it slide. Okay, so let's do our sentiment. And I will end up heat embossing with clear heat. And the reason for that mostly is because this stuff takes a minute to dry and I hate it when I smudge it. So I'm just going to warm up my heat tool and grab my clear embossing powder. And then I've got, well, I don't know what I did with my scrap. Let's grab another one. I think I left it over by my cutting machine. I'm gonna grab the I Love You and just grab a stamping block. I'm not gonna bother putting it in the platform or anything. The main thing I wanna make sure is that my letters aren't too crooked, that this is kind of laying straight across here so that all the letters are centered. And I'll put a good heavy amount. This is VersaFine Claire in Charming Pink. And just give it a stamp. Lift. Throw some embossing powder. And heat emboss. I like it like that because then I have much less of a chance of smearing the ink everywhere. I'm going to put away my stamp and then wipe off my hand because I know for a fact that I will get that on my hand. And then I'm going to take my little tonic trimmer. I've got this little one here. And once I'm sure that this is cool, I don't want to smudge that either. I'm just going to bring it in and trim this down. Let's see, let me just make sure the letters are even. Sometimes it's difficult when you have those hangy things, and I couldn't tell you what they're called. You'd have to ask Kathy Zilski, she knows. I don't know what they're called. Okay. And trim off the sides. And here you just want to make sure that it's lined up with the grid marks. Now you could take some of your scrap gold and matte this as well. And I think we'll do that this time. I didn't do it last time, but I think we will this time. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down onto the gold and then trim the gold down. And I just mean a teeny tiny matte layer. As even as I can possibly get it. Try not to get glue everywhere. Okay, and then trim that down. Check it where I am. That needed to go a little bit more, a wee bit more. Okay. All right. Now, I am going to actually pop this up right here. And I have these little foam squares. They're black, but you're not going to see them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Just place my foam squares on. Give them a little push so they stick. Pull off the backer. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue so that I have a little bit of wiggle room before this commits. I want it right about here. I'll make sure it's in the center. And there we go. Push down on it. And last but not least, we'll toss on our sequins and we'll have a beautiful card. Now you could add flowers or butterflies or whatever you want to really ramp it up if you wanted to. Let's see, I've got my little grabby tool here. And I'm gonna grab, let's see, I want one here. Let's go medium size one here. And these sequins are from, I think this calls for confetti. And then another one up here. And then I think I want a medium one here. Maybe here. And a small one. I like it because they come in small, medium, and large. Small one right here. Maybe a large one right here. Do a large one right here. And a medium one right here. And then, yeah, I'm going a little crazy with the bling. That's okay, right? You can never have too much bling. Well, you can, but I can't. And then one right here. Go ahead and get those glued down. And this glue dries clear. It takes practice, by the way, to be able to pick these up with your left hand, and if they don't want to stick, just take your tweezers and push it down there, because ideally the glue's a little bit more tacky so that they'll grab off of this wax. But you can do it. See what I mean? Sometimes it wants to stick to the wax. And sometimes it behaves just perfectly. Get on there. Just these few little more and we'll be good. Let's make sure the cup's going in the right direction on that one. If the cup is on the outside, they definitely don't want to stick. I think they call this more of a confetti than a sequin. But here we go. We've got our golden and shiny and sparkly Mother's Day card. So all the supplies that you've seen here, as far as the Eileen Hull embossing folder and the Thinlits tiled alphanumeric, can be found at ScrappyShak, as well as your art glitter glue and various kinds of paper and all kinds of other supplies. So I hope you stop by ScrappyShak and tell them T sent you. Thanks so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.